Hey, what's going on, guys? How are we doing today? So I was just working out as I saw Cubs' latest video about the interview with the devs. I think it was CG Miller and Crumb, but most of the interview was just about him talking with Miller. Because if you guys haven't seen the video or not, it kind of is pretty much just Cubs talking to Miller, because I think Miller is the person who kind of almost created the idea for the Executor in the first place. So he's like the perfect guy to have on. Anyways, I watched the entire thing and I'm like, wow, this is some great info. And I know it was like a 40-50 minute long interview. Why not just kind of like make it a bit condensed in a video of mine? So, and also could kind of go off of it and talk more about it. So let's see if we can have anything in the background playing while I talk. I have a list here. First things first, I think the biggest thing out of the entire 40 or however long minutes it was is that, well, it's a couple things. It's, they mentioned that if you don't have a 7-star Executor, that you are only going to be able to beat that Executor at 7 stars with your own at 7 stars. They made it very clear that that's going to be how it is going to be. But they also said if you're going to be fighting someone that's like a non-7-star Executor, you should have a very good chance of beating it with your like Negotiator or your Malevolences. But that's only if they're not 7-star. And over time, people will have this new capital ship at 7-star. It's going to be inevitable, just like Mr. Thanos, right? So down here, I mean, this guy, if you did some of the like looking at the bot and the stats at 7-star, everything as maxed as it possibly can be with a Relic 8 Piet, you'll be 1 speed faster than the maxed out Negotiator with General Kenobi. So that is why I feel like that's going to cut off almost every single non-Executor guy out there. And that's why I feel like this is such an important guy to go for right now, because think about it this way, you know, in the interview, they're like, I think Cubs asking, so is this like a GL ship? Or, you know, people asking, this is like a GL requirement of a ship, right? Of a fleet, capital ship, whatnot. And they were like, not really so much, but like, it kind of is because of all the requirements. I want to say it is, but at the same time, it's hard for me to kind of say that because it feels like it is, but also like you're getting some relic bounty hunters for that exact fleet. So it's like you're working towards something great, but at the same time, you're working towards, you know, the same fleet and adding it up and just making it a lot stronger. So, like, the requirements are pretty steep, but all of those guys are going straight back into the fleet, minus maybe, like, the Dengar, minus, like, the TIE Fighter pilot and some others, right? But, like, for the most part, Razor Crest, you know, the new Slave 1 kit reveal, or not kit reveal, but the touch-up, plus Houndstooth, plus, you know, because I need blood. Like all these guys in IG 2000, they're all going straight back into this fleet, so it makes some sense, right? But it's like it makes so much sense at the moment to go for this capital ship over an Anakin, the Lord Vader, because there are going to be now 6 GLs for characters in the game compared to like 1 pretty steep, almost GL, kind of a GL fleet in the game, being Executor. So, like, why not go for that new one for the fleet aspect of SWGoH, rather than going for another additional Galactic Legend for characters, you know? And it's kind of hard to say that, but, like, right now, I think it's just very easy. Like, it's a no-brainer still. We don't know what Lord Vader's kit's going to look like whatsoever. It could be, like, one of the stupid OP'est kit out there for a Galactic Legend. It could be just so broken, countering everything on auto. Nothing can beat it, all that sort of stuff, right? But I feel like there's so much more things you can do to counter potential new GL Lord Vader than you could countering a new fleet capital ship Executor. I think that's a bit easy, not big brain thinking there. I think that's pretty straightforward. So that's like the biggest thing right there is if you aren't going to have a 7-star Executor, then don't count on beating that Executor without your own. That's at 7-star. I think that's pretty straightforward. That's the biggest thing I wanted to hit up on. The next biggest thing is, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but to get the ultimate, it's going to be a lot easier to get it if you like manually play. I'm sure if you have one, maybe like a 4 or 5 star, maybe even if you get to that 7-star ship, you could probably auto almost every single fleet out there besides mirror matches, I would like to say. But they did say in the interview that it's going to be probably the best bet to go for breaches, but also you go for some target locks and build up that as you go along with getting more breaches out there on the field, like 2 for 1. But I feel like it just is a lot simpler to go for more breaches because there's more synergy with the bounty hunters as you get more breaches on the board. So I don't really see the point of adding any Empire here. Maybe as a reinforcement, but I don't even think the battles will last that long to hit a reinforcement, because I feel like as soon as you get, you know, your first starting 3 probably being, let's see here, probably being Houndstooth, Exciting New Blood, and Razor Crest out there, and then maybe Slave 1 as reinforcement, or maybe just tossing and interchanging both Slave 1 and Razor Crest as reinforcements or whatever, and then having IG 2000 coming off the bench. I mean, that's like, you have 3 plus you have the 2. That's already 2 extra reinforcements. Like, I don't think you're going to have enough time, which is a good thing actually, but like, you're not going to have enough need for more Empire ships at all. So like, this is very strictly created for the bounty hunters. And I think in the interview, Miller was talking about like, yeah, the Executor is really an Empire fleet, like it is, right? There's no question about that, but like, they had to have some uses for the new bounty hunters, or just these bounty hunters as we see right now on screen. And as much as they want to have it as a bounty hunter, and it's looking like it is very bounty hunter heavy synergy, they still had to tie in, at least in some ways, some Empire love. But like, you look at the guy's kit for the Piet's Executor, it just is like, it's so silly how insignificant the Empire are looking in some of these synergy moves, basics, specials, uniques. Like, the bounty hunters definitely trump it, and it's like not even a close call. Everything here is like, go for bounty hunters. Why would you even want Empire here? So they had to like tie in Empires for like in some way, or else they would, I think the guy said, or else they'd have pitchforks in their like doorsteps or something, because they're doing a disservice to the game, to the Star Wars community as a whole. But like, still, it's pretty apparent that they want to make this a bounty hunter capital ship, right? So that's like the next thing. And then let's see here. One of the last things I want to bring up is they did mention, like, the very ending of it all. I think it was Miller, maybe Crumb. I don't know. Crumb didn't really say much in this whole interview, but they were teasing the idea for more bounty hunter ships. This is not really capital ships, because capital ships with bounty hunters are not really a thing, in my opinion at least. That's why we have this new Executor. But it did kind of hint towards more just like basic ships for other bounty hunters. So like, people, you know, we see Dengar as one of the requirements for this Executor, right? But I could easily see more of these guys' ships coming in the game. Like, I want to say almost every single one here has a ship to some extent. Dengar has one, Aura has one. I'm really bad with everybody else for the game, you know, in Star Wars as a whole, but I'm pretty dang sure almost everybody else has one to some extent, whether they're a crew member or they pilot it themselves. And that gives me a lot of hope, because, you know, for a couple of different reasons. One is like, down the line, for people getting more 7-star Executors, I feel like there could be a really good, huge use for new bounty hunters adding into that new meta, because it seems like this ship will be the new meta for Fleet, and having some more new bounty hunter ships adding into the mix could really help offset some of those top tier teams in the game for Fleet. But also, I feel like it could be really nice to have some more plug and play characters, you know, and for rather ships, not characters, but more plug and play ships, because at the moment, the most plug and play ship is pretty obviously the Houndstooth, right? But I would love to see some more, you know, some more Fleet, hopefully bounty hunter ships in the game, more like people like Ebon Hawk that could be used in really any comp out there. Same with like the young Lando ship, his Millennium Falcon, even the Razor Crest. More of these ships that do have a faction tag, but also could be used in other comps out there. You know, for example, the Thrawn ship, maybe even a use with Mace Windu, or also the not the Razor Crest, but the Resistance ship, the Holdo's, gosh, what is it called again? Radis. More stuff like that. I think it'd be really cool to see that, but also they could be plugged into those bounty hunter fleets as well, or whatever the tag is, whatever faction it is, right? So there's a lot of hope right now. There's a lot of actual, you know, pushing forward of Fleet, and it's pretty apparent that they want to go with this, because again, I've said this a lot of times in my last videos I've been making, They did have a road ahead post a few months ago saying at the very ending of that post, shipload of content to come or something to that extent, right? And this is really what it is about. Executor, Razor Crest, more bounty hunters, and then also the new Galactic Challenge changes with the fleet as well. And I want to say that's going to happen and drop on the 16th, which should be lining up with when the Executor drops, but I could be wrong there. But just like pretty much to that whole statement with shipload of content, it's very apparent that we're getting some more, and I don't think we're stopping right now with the Executor. I think we're going to get some more, whether it's just some more modes with the guys, with the fleet, with ships, maybe some tweaking of it all, or whatever. I think we're going to get more of it, and this is just the start of it all. I know not many people are huge fans of fleet out there. I go very back and forth with it all. I love it sometimes, I hate it sometimes, but hopefully, as much as it's going to suck to say this, I really hope that this new capital ship brings some change, and not in like a negative light, but in a positive light, with even people who don't get it unlocked. I hope that it does help out a little bit, because right now the meta is very stale. Negotiator, Malevolence, and that's pretty much all you got. Yeah, you can go and get some relicked up fleet for the rebels, but besides those guys, there's not much else out there that can like really beat everything in the game. And I'm just hoping we get some more fun stuff like this new Executor with the bounty hunters. So yeah, my notes really here just pretty much to wrap it up, to conclude it today, is don't expect beating the 7-star Executor without your own in a mirror match, pretty much, unless there's some really crazy counter out there that we've seen or we can create or whatever it is. But you can still beat it if you happen to fight one that's a non-7-star with like a negotiator, something like that. And there are going to be, hopefully, which kind of seems like it, they teased it pretty heavily, I feel like, in the interview, some more ships, whether it's bounty hunters or whatever it is. It seems to be more bounty hunters in my opinion. But that's pretty much it. Just some little tidbits from the interview. If you guys already seen it, if you guys haven't seen the interview from Cubs' channel, but that's pretty much it. I am very excited for it all. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts after I was just like working out, after I was getting everything done for the day. I was watching it as I was working out, and I'm like, you know what? This is a pretty good interview. I like it a lot of great questions being asked. So I thought might as well make some sort of a TLDR post interview video of what my thoughts are. I don't know. I think it's pretty apparent that you should get this ship and this fleet built up, because like I said, as you are building it up with all your characters for the requirements, you pretty much are guaranteed a very nice capital ship that is going to be probably meta for a good long time. So that's all my thoughts for today, guys. If you have any other ideas for videos, or maybe you guys have comments on this down below, I would love to hear them. You guys are awesome. Have a great weekend out there. Stay tuned for more GAC streams, and if you guys have any ideas for videos, again, let me know. Always hearing your guys' thoughts and comments, so let them come. Until next time, though, guys, have a great one, and I will see you all later. Peace out, and have a good one. See you guys.